If you've ever thought about joining eXp Realty, you've probably heard a laundry list of reasons why you shouldn't. But here's the truth. Most of those reasons are either myths, misunderstandings, or outdated thinking. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down every single reason why agents don't end up joining eXp Realty, and also showing you how this model actually works to solve almost every single one of those concerns. And you're gonna wanna stick around till the very end of the video, because I'm gonna be sharing the number one thing that almost every single agent tells me once they finally make the move to eXp Realty, and you're not gonna wanna miss that. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Roicki. I'm one of the top sponsors in eXp Realty, and I've helped hundreds of agents and brokers all across the country make the transition to eXp Realty, and I've heard it all the fears, the doubts, the excuses, and today I'm gonna give you straight truth about it all. And if you're seriously considering eXp as your next move, reach out. I'll help you cut through all the noise to get the facts straight and to help you position yourself to make the best decision you could possibly make in your real estate business today. Now let's get straight to the content, starting with the first reason why agents don't join eXp, which is they love their broker, they're happy where they're at. I hear it all the time. And here's what I would tell you. The model is what determines your future, not your broker. And at eXp, you have the ability to keep your independence, but to add a few things that you otherwise wouldn't have in the process typically, such as ownership, scalability, and the ability to build wealth in the process. So the model's completely different. And honestly, if you are happy with where you're at up to this point, I would hope you're happy. But my biggest question to you is, if you love your broker, do you love the business model itself, broker aside? And if you don't, I mean, even if you are happy, why aren't you pinching yourself every morning? Why aren't you ecstatic about the growth opportunity in front of you? If you're not, there might be a bigger opportunity that you're missing out upon at that. The second reason I hear agents don't join eXp is that they need an office. They're set on the fact they need an office. And I'd say more often than not, that boils down to the local support. So if you're coming from a traditional office, you're accustomed to the fact that that's where you go for help when you need it. That's where you go for broker support, staff support if you got any of that. That's where you go for your trainings. At eXp, that's just not how our system works. And to be clear, just because we don't have the bricks and mortar office, it doesn't mean we don't have support. Those are two different things. We have a different way of delivering the support. And actually, not to add confusion to it, but we actually do have an office that's cloud-based. But it's not a gimmick. That's literally where you go to get live real-time support. So most agents, their biggest concern is losing access to help. Far from it, eXp actually has a designated managing broker, and they have a team of brokers at that in every single state, compliance staff, local mentors. We have Regis office space for those who want to go and utilize the lounge space, connect to the Wi-Fi, have a place they can physically go to get some work done. And as a result of this structure, you actually walk away having more support at your fingertips, not less. So my biggest question to people who say they need an office is, well, what else do you need? Because we have that. We have space you can go set up. We have places that you can go meet with people if needed. But do you want a more reliable broker support team? To me, that's the bigger thing you're assessing at that point. The third reason why people don't join eXp is that they say and think it won't work in their area. For me, that's an interesting thought, because eXp is in more MLS areas than any other brokerage out there. And so I'm always curious to learn, well, what makes you feel like it doesn't work in your market, or it won't? Fact is, up to this point, eXp's worked everywhere because the model isn't tied to geography. Fact is, eXp has thrived and will thrive in small towns, luxury markets, even international markets and cities, because the system was designed to scale across all market areas. The key factor, though, is who is the person leveraging our platform to grow locally. That opportunity is wide open for anyone who wants the opportunity. If you're depending on someone else to step in and seize that opportunity for you, that's not really conducive to the mindset of what this platform is. You don't need an office owner to step in. You don't need a franchise owner, regional owner. Like, that opportunity is at your fingertips today with how this model was structured. The fourth reason people don't join eXp has something to do with the cost and fees. Common thing that I'll hear is, I'm at 100% brokerage, you can't beat that deal. I feel sorry for people who believe that, because my bigger question at that point is, okay, well, why isn't your broker paying you? If you're still paying into the broker, regardless of what percent, even if you are at 100%, because I actually came from 100% brokerage prior to this. I was at 100%. I paid a small transaction fee, smaller than most when I'm talking with them coming from that scenario. But with eXp, 100% is not the limit. You can go past 100%. You can truly be at 100% and even beyond when you take into consideration the equity opportunities to build ownership with every single deal you close, and the revenue share if you choose to do anything with that component. So at eXp, if I look back on my journey up to this point, I've been at over 100% for years with eXp, meaning I get back more from the brokerage than I pay in year after year after year. And for me personally, it's only been something that's been growing with how I've taken advantage of the business model opportunity I have that I never had or would have had at 100% brokerage. That's the aspect of eXp. I mean, real 100% is having complete ownership of your financial journey ahead, and truly having the most in the way of not just the split and cap and what you can keep, but equity ownership opportunities and the ability to participate in the growth of the brokerage should you choose to do that. The fifth reason I hear people don't join is they seem to think or hear someone told them that all eXp does is recruit. And I always wonder when people say that, what makes them say that? Where'd they get that thought from? Who told them that? Because usually it's someone who tells them that. Usually, a lot of times it comes from people who run local offices, or they might have an ownership interest in that local office because they're just tired of losing agents to eXp. So they want to plant these seeds of doubt in their mind to prevent them from even looking our way. So it happens all the time. But here's the reality with eXp. Growth is completely optional. Most agents at eXp never recruit a single agent. In fact, it's only 14% of our agents that are building that side of their business at all. And a majority of those 14% are very active in production. And it's kind of a byproduct, being a highly productive agent, that they're attracting agents their way from time to time who want to learn, how they're succeeding and winning on their production game. So overwhelming majority of agents are not focused on recruiting, but we don't limit the opportunity to market center owners or people whose full-time job it is to do that. Instead, the brokerage gives that opportunity back to the agents who want to participate and share in the growth and success of the bigger company they're operating their own business within. So you don't have to recruit at eXp. If you do help the company grow, you're rewarded in direct proportion to what you contribute to the growth. The sixth reason that people don't join, and I think this one is about as outdated as they come because I haven't heard it in a while, but it used to be something that came up, which is that eXp is an MLM or a pyramid scheme. There's been people from time to time that have thought that or heard that. And again, I always wonder where people hear that from, if that's a thought. Otherwise, hey, what part of receiving referral fees on actual closed real estate transactions is wrong to you, especially if you're helping contribute to the success and growth of the company? Because every brokerage, if you look at how it's structured, every single real estate brokerage is a pyramid. You've got the broker at the top of the pyramid. You've got, if it's a big franchise, you've got the franchise owners, the people who own the regions. And then you've got the local franchise, the office owners, and then you've got the agents. And so that's a big pyramid. If it's an independent, you got the broker at top, and then you got the agents at the bottom. The broker has a different kind of opportunity than the agents. The owners have a different opportunity than the agents. At eXp, the agents have all the opportunity. So it takes those layers of the pyramid out of it. So if you could draw a pyramid with us, it would be, I guess you draw a pyramid with the agent at the center, and there wouldn't be all these other layers with it. So it's kind of interesting because to me, if you understand all that, your traditional brokerage looks a heck of a lot more like a pyramid than we do. Because fact is, in any other scenario, you're stuck at the bottom. Here, you get to decide what part of this opportunity you want to tap into. So eXp just flips the script. We share the ownership, we share the revenue. You have an opportunity to grow your business in any which direction you choose to grow it, not just based on you closing your next transaction, rinse and repeat, and never building wealth for the long term in the process. The seventh reason that people won't join, it's kind of far and few in between, but it's you independent brokers out there. If you're an independent broker watching this, I would wonder, what made you want to go independent in the first place? because there are upsides to that, but with independence comes liability and overhead. You're the one responsible for compliance and everything else that, far and few in between actually enjoy the process of it. And I don't think anyone enjoys the process of sitting in courtrooms dealing with a mess that one of their agents created. So with eXp, we bring, the platform brings a unique solution to independent brokers. That's why we have independent brokers who join us every single week. They have the ability to keep their own brand within the eXp platform, powered by eXp, to drop the liability and to leverage eXp's platform for all those broker related tasks, from compliance to training to having systems and tools to help agents grow and scale their production, and even the network that agents can tap into for a broader width of knowledge, mentorship. So basically, as a broker, you get to shift from having to worry about all the compliance stuff to really being able to focus on growth and what it is that you're best at. The eighth reason that people don't join eXp is that someone gave them the idea that it's not sustainable. And I'd say this is another one of those that's pretty outdated at this point. And fact is, all you gotta do with this is pull up our financials. Now, whether or not you know how to read financials is another story. If you can look at the cash flow that eXp is generating quarter after quarter, the brokerage generates cash flow, doesn't have debt. In fact, we have quite a bit of cash on the balance sheets at this point. And this is a company that's closing in on 100,000 agents after a little more than 15 years in business, starting in the worst real estate market that our industry has seen. eXp's been profitable every quarter since scaling. So we've grown at scale. Our model is proven at scale. We are growing internationally at this point. And the cloud model is very lean, and it's designed to be future proof. Again, look at the facts, because men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, and all you gotta do is dive deeper on our financials to see the real story with this one. Because if a company's generating cash flow, is not debt heavy. Our founder Glenn Sanford essentially bootstrapped a unicorn, a company that achieved $1 billion plus valuation. He didn't do it the same way that most others who achieve that kind of valuation do, by raising capital, selling off significant portions of the company. Didn't do any of that. So it really put this company in a position to be strong financially for the long term. And the best part is the agents and brokers here get to share in that. The ninth objection I hear occasionally is that the stock is down. I always think that's an interesting one, because it always has to do with timing. Because for me personally, I'm up on most of my shares, and I always wonder if that's really an issue, how the shares in their brokerage are doing for them. Because fact is, eXp is the company that brought ownership to the agents. Prior to eXp, there was not a publicly traded company in our industry that you could even get shares of ownership in. So eXp pioneered that whole dynamic in our industry. And what I mean by that, to be clear, is there wasn't a company designed to share the ownership back to the agents in the way of shares. So with eXp, if you're a productive agent, you're getting shares in the company. That's just how this is designed. And the more intentional you are about that, the more shares you'll tend to get with how you're taking advantage of those opportunities. But I always say it's the difference between renting and owning. Any brokers, we're going to pay in the rent to the broker, but not in every situation are you going to have an opportunity to build equity and ownership in something that has the potential to be financially meaningful for you and your family long term. But eXp gives that opportunity. So whether the stock's up or down, I'm glad that I get to have a piece in it. To be clear, that's just the nature of the game with stock. Having a liquid market that's highly transparent, company on the NASDAQ, fact is, stocks fluctuate. They go up, they go down at different points for different reasons. And it's not always tied directly to what the company is doing. A lot of times it's tied to what the sector is doing. What is the tech sector doing? What's the real estate sector doing? What's happening with rates? All these things affect the value of that stock price. Most agents get zero ownership anywhere else they're at. So here you earn stock for doing what you're already doing, closing deals, capping on your production, bringing productive agents into the organization. Here you're going to get awarded with shares of equity in the process, and that has the opportunity to build something in the background while you're doing what you're going to do in any other situation. And by the way, eXp is not diluting. They're buying back shares every single quarter. You can look into that, and this is a more of an advanced topic for people to understand the stock market. But if you don't, there's a very big difference between a company that is offsetting for dilution versus one that just keeps issuing more shares and not accounting for that. It's kind of like inflation. We don't really deal with that as much here as others that have an opportunity like this, although most don't have an opportunity like this to get ownership. Now, the 10th reason why agents from time to time might hesitate to join have to do with some of the bad actors out there, some of which have caused lawsuits. Fact is, occasionally you'll hear a headline and it might be eXp, it might be any of the other big name brokerages named in a lawsuit for this reason or that, whether it's commissions or otherwise. But you got to consider a couple things. One, headlines, these news outlets, they're in the business of selling fears, not necessarily facts. But also, I would press you to show me a billion-dollar company with no lawsuits. And do you really think that if you're closing in on 100,000 agents, all independent contractors, that every single one of them would be a saint? So fact is, problems from time to time when you have that many people doing different things in different markets, running their own business, occasionally you have a problem, and our leadership team moves quickly. They clean house when necessary and they protect the brand and really more importantly our agent community. And so, fact is, like I said, show me another company that's at our scale that occasionally doesn't have an issue to address with a specific person. I don't know that it's possible. I don't know that statistically it's possible. Yeah, are bad actors a thing? I think they're a thing anywhere at any company of our size, but the question is, what does leadership do in those situations? Do they address it? Do they remove people that are out of alignment with the core values? And everything I've seen up to this point with eXp, they have made those decisions. And for them, if something's out of alignment with the core values as far as what eXp is all about, it's not a hard decision, and it doesn't matter who it is. If someone needs to go, they will be gone if something's out of alignment with what we're about. Now, the 11th reason that people won't join from time to time is they feel they're too late. It's always funny to hear this one because people have said that when eXp was hitting 5,000 agents. Others said it when they were hitting 20,000. Now people are saying it as we're closing in on 100,000. So at every point along the way, people think they're too late. Someone thinks they're too late. I would implore you to think about this in the sense of there's an adoption curve with our business model. It's a new business model. Prior to the eXp cloud-based business model, there wasn't a new business model in our industry for over 100 years. The last one being the franchise-based model that most of the companies are based on to this day. So being a new model, there's quite the adoption curve ahead. I would tell you the biggest growth by far is still that ahead of us, not that behind us, because in the past 15, going on 16 years now, eXp's gone from 0 to closing in on 100,000 agents. What is the real growth potential? In the US, we're hitting 5% market share, but not to mention globally, what's the growth potential? There's a lot more agents globally than there is in the US, and the eXp business model is more disruptive in most of the countries we're launching in than it is in the US. The opportunity here isn't simply about the timing, it's about who you align yourself with and what you decide to do with this platform and opportunity ahead of you. If you're gonna be building and growing your business, do you wanna be running on the platform that's been a thing of the past 100 years, or do you wanna be running on the platform that's leading the growth into where our industry is going into the future? Because that would be the eXp platform if you want to be on what's ahead versus what's behind. Now, if these answers are giving you clarity, but you still have questions about eXp Realty, I'm going to invite you to reach out to me. I'll walk you through your specific situation and help you see whether the eXp platform truly might be the right platform for you and your business. I've helped agents at every end of the spectrum, all the way from people that run big name franchises who are franchise owners and operators who have reached out to me, independent brokers, all the way down to newly licensed agents just looking for their first win. So if you're anywhere in between, I can certainly help you navigate what this opportunity could look like and get you answers to your questions. In fact, I'm one of a small number of people within eXp that eXp connects agents looking to join the company who reach out directly to eXp on the corporate side. I'm one of the agents that they connect those people with to get answers to their questions. So I'm certainly qualified to answer your questions if you're watching this video here. So reach out and connect with me if you got any questions. And let's get to the 12th reason why people don't join eXp Realty is that they feel they need in-person training. And this relates mostly to newly licensed agents. I hear it a lot that they feel they need in-person training or that they thrive better there, or they just might not make it in the business. And what I'd say to that is, how much actual training do you really get in a bricks and mortar brokerage? Some are better than others. Some it's literally non-existent, so it really varies per location and brokerage. And how much of the advanced training is actually free, where there's no added costs associated with it? Because traditional brokerages, they usually offer a handful of classes locally, often taught by the same people in that local office with limited perspectives based on their own experience. And if you want a higher level of training or advanced coaching, it's almost always at an added cost to the agent, even when they're at a time in their career where they're most unlikely to be able to afford it. So with eXp, the approach is completely different. Training is not a profit center within eXp. You get to tap into live classes, over 80 hours a week of live training available, covering everything from basics to advanced marketing, lead generation, AI, team building, even investing in real estate. It's all taught by the top producing agents within the brokerage. It's not restricted to who is there local to you. You can learn from anyone within the eXp network who's doing business at a high level. And that just opens up the door to a broader band of knowledge that you're able to tap into if you're actually tapping into it. So if you're brand new, you're not left to figure it out alone. You can plug into our local mentorship system. You can have opportunities if you really want shadowing opportunities. That's just going to come down to having a conversation, understanding with your local mentor, and at least finding the right person who's willing to do that with you. You're going to have state broker support available at your fingertips, all while tapping into the collective wisdom of the top 1% producing agents across the entire company. And that's something you'll never ever get sitting in a single local classroom with 20 other rookie agents. It's just never gonna happen. So the real question with eXp isn't whether or not you'll get training. The question is, do you want one perspective from one trainer on what worked years ago when they were building up their production, or do you want to learn from the very best agents in the world today who are teaching you exactly what they're doing to drive a significant amount of business in today's shifting market across every market area and every specialty that you can think of as well? Which opportunity you want the ability to tap into to learn more and level up your knowledge base. The 13th reason that people don't join eXp is the fear of change and starting over. And I totally get it, but if nothing changes in your business, where will you be in the next 3 years or the next 5 years? If nothing changes, where will you be? Because comfort leads to stagnation. Comfort rarely is ever a good thing if you're growth minded or if you want to grow from where you're at today. Fear, on the other hand, when you sense fear, that tends to mean there's opportunity on the other side of it. There's something that you're not comfortable about, but I would implore you to see, okay, where's the real opportunity for growth here? And so the good news with eXp is the onboarding is very plug and play. You don't have to start over with your business. Instead, you get to step into a new set of tools, resources, and community designed to help you take things to the next level. If you're really plugging into that, there's no way you go backwards. Worst case scenario is you stay where you're at, but I don't see how you're gonna stay where you're at if you really plug into what we have to help you fuel more production, because there's just so much there to help you build upon what you've already got going, and that's regardless of what production level you're at already. The 14th reason I see people not join is the brand, as far as concerns about image. This pertains especially to luxury markets, but I would ask you to really consider, when was the last time a client of yours hired you because of the brokerage name that you're with? It's rare that I hear that people are doing a significant amount of business just strictly based on their broker's brand name, because that's how brokers really built back decades ago. That was an important part of the value proposition. But today, we are our own brand. Every agent is their own brand. You're the CEO of your own brand. And eXp wants to position you to maximize that opportunity, not to maximize the way business was done decades ago. So fact is, clients hire you. At least 98% of most agents' clients are gonna hire them because of their personal connection with them, not because of the logo behind them. So here you get to keep your brand name. eXp is simply the platform, not the spotlight. The 15th reason I see people not take the next step with us is some people feel a tech overwhelm, especially with the idea of operating within a virtual cloud-based brokerage model. Even if you're not trying to be a tech guru and all you want to do is sell more houses, really the fear of tech is more so the fear of the unknown than anything else. Now with eXp, the tech's relatively simple. The hardest thing for most people is there's just so much to tap into. But reality, it's all simple stuff if you take it bite for bite and just get to learn the basics with it. And for that, we have training. We have literally 24/7, 365 support that makes it easy to navigate the tools and resources and to have what you need when you need it from a real person. And so leverage that. If you leverage it, you're never gonna be stuck and on your own to figure it out. You're always gonna have help figuring out what you need when you need it. The 16th reason that people don't join eXp is that, they feel like they're losing their current support system or community. I would implore that, hey, if that's a really quality relationship you have, it shouldn't be one that you lose in the process of making a change that's in alignment with your growth and goals. Because do you really value the water cooler break room chat more than access to a nationwide mastermind of people that are doing more of what it is you actually want to do in your business, who are willing to share and collaborate what's working for them that you can tap into and be a part of? So the solution here is it's a platform where the ability exists for you to work with whoever you want to within the platform. And that includes any existing relationships you have up to this point, you know, whether it be your local broker, mentors, people that are key people in your local office, other agents. You know, there's an ability within our platform for you to have a greater level of collaboration with them and others across the network that might be, you know, able to contribute to you and your growth. And we would hope that you would contribute to that, being a part of that as well. And that's both locally and then worldwide as well. And the 17th reason I hear people not locking arms to run with us is it's a timing thing. You know, it has something to do with timing or their situation in life up to this point. And I would ask you to consider, you know, when's the last time that the perfect time showed up for anything big that happened in your life? All I know is that waiting tends to lead to missed opportunity. You know, the solution with eXp is that it's a fairly low cost of entry with us. Super low startup fee, reasonably low monthly commitment too. And, you know, onboarding is super flexible. You can pick your start date and you can make that transition whenever you want to without slowing down anything about your business. We'll make that part easy. Depending on where you're coming from, it may be harder than not. It just depends where you're coming from in the situation with that existing broker. You know, but fact is there's never a perfect time, especially if you're a highly productive agent with big goals, making things happen. There's never going to be a time where you don't have business happening to transition over if that's you. And if you're not yet at that point, I mean, it's never going to get easier than it is now. After all these conversations I've had with hundreds of agents who are assessing the opportunity to join eXp, many of whom did, the most common thing I hear over and over again is, I wish I had joined sooner. I hear that from agents that joined this past year. I hear that from agents who joined 8 years ago. I wish I had joined sooner. And not once have I heard someone say the opposite of that. And, you know, I don't really hear people that say they regret joining. The only regret I hear is waiting. So if you're seriously considering eXp, and you want clarity, not just hype, you know, reach out to me directly. I'm willing to have a candid conversation with you to hear your goals, your market, where you are now, where you're trying to go from here, to help you assess whether or not eXp Realty really would be the right move for you or not. And so go ahead and connect with me. You'll find my contact information in the description below. Mention to me you saw the video, and I'm going to be more than happy to have a conversation with you. I'm not going to push you in any kind of direction. I just want to better understand where you're at, you know, see how I can help you navigate it all, be a resource for you. I've met some great people in the process of making content like this, and I'm always open to another connection if you're growth minded, if there's something I can bring to the table to help you get to that next stage in your journey towards where you want to go by being in real estate and bringing your goals and dreams to life in the process, because that's what I'm all about. And, you know, if you got value out of this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, but also get on my email list. I want to provide some added value. You're gonna get more added value if you're subscribed here, but really I share my best stuff every single week in the form of email. So there's gonna be another link in the description here where you can get on my weekly email, and I'll share some things with you that will help you grow your business if you put it into play. And that's even if you're new to the business, if you're not new, if you're growing and scaling, even if you run your own broker, I'll have a thing for you from time to time as well to share. So definitely make sure I've got your email. I can send that your way. And all that being said, I hope you got value out of the video. I hope it was helpful. Until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.